I think we're live. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. If you're here for the first time, my name is Sham. This is 0xfiles, and the truth is always out there. I was thinking about going live, like at some stage, and then a brother goes, "Are you live? Right? Are you free now?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm free now. Let's do a live now." Funny thing is, I don't really have a subject, right? So we're gonna just go with the flow, right? Make it up as we go, right? Fake it till we make it. How about that, right? Whatever the case is. Ultimately, look, we're gonna talk about the market, crypto market today, and what the market is kind of giving signals of. So there are some good news and there are some bad news, right? And I think we always need to stay one step ahead, in order to do the best in this market, right? At least it's like some sort of we have some sort of a path that we can take. Like, when you branch out, it's like, okay, do you take this or do you take that, right? And one of the things that I've been talking about a lot, right, is to have a stop loss, right? It's very, very important to have a stop loss. So, but right now, when we're looking at the daily, and smaller time frames, if you're looking at trading, going long or short or something like this, then there are plenty of opportunities out there right now, because everything, well, not everything, majority of the big boy, the blue chips, are coming back for a reset. And that's important for us, because resets mean that we're going to see some upside, right? Whether we see it for a day, 2 day, 3 day, doesn't matter, we're going to see a reset. Now, on the higher time frames, when we look at the 5 days, when we look at the weekly, things are a bit freaky, because we're still up on the overbought territory, right? But then if you move over to even higher time frame, then things are still bullish. So we're still good, right? So we can see different trends. So if you're here on the chats, please do let me know, so I know who's here, who's not. Right. Also, I want to give a shout out to one of the new channel members, because the channel membership's been active for some time now. Of course, the channel's fully monetized, and I just want to give a shout out to Track. He's now just joined us as a new member of the channel, which is fantastic. I do appreciate that. But of course, there are plenty of links out there, and if people want to support the channel, not that I'm asking, I'm not plugging anything, guys, there are links down there. You can support one-off, or you can do whatever. And if you want to become a member, by all means. YouTube actually told me to mention it to you guys, so I'm just telling you guys. But other than that, if you're here for the first time, consider subscribing. We're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff right now. So XRP, I'm going to start off with XRP. Right? My brother's an XRP fan, right? Faisal is an XRP fan. So I'm going to start off with XRP. XRP on the daily has come in for a reset, and it's looking super strong, super positive. It's giving us signs that at least for the next 2-3 days, least, right, if not longer, it's going to start making a move towards that $3.30. We need that. Once we get that, then we can head towards a new all-time high. And we're not far, guys, right? Remember what I said, perspective matters, right? Perception and perspective, right? When you are looking at the chart, when you look at the percentage, right, we're not that far. All right, we're actually not that far from getting to the $3.30. So we're going to head towards there. Of course, today's price for XRP right now is $2.45, which is good, even though the market got shook a little bit because of what BTC did the other day, the big flash crash nonsense we had it on the live, right? Where we went from 98k to 92k. People say flash crash. No, it was pure manipulation, right? So after that, of course, if the market was weak, right, if it had weak knees, we would have bled out. But the market showed its strength, that look, it's not over, right? And whoever that was, they did a one-off thing, because they just bought it up straight away again. So yeah, people want to buy discounted coins, and if they can manipulate the system and get away with it, why not? They're doing that, right? So that's what they did. And end of the day, yeah, market's still there, right? Market's strong. There was a time when if we lost, right, $200-300 billion liquidation, we would panic, right? Because the market total valuation was so low. But now we're sitting at I'll tell you the exact number, $3.5657 trillion. So $3.5 trillion. Losing $200-300 million on a liquidation event doesn't even bother us anymore, to be honest, right? I can't see the chats, guys, so if you are here, please let me know, because I can't see the chats. It's crazy. Okay, I just refreshed it. Faisal says, salam, bro, hope you're good. I'm always good, my brother, you know me, come on, I'm always good, right? Always have positive thoughts, positive energy, and trying to give love back to people, and hopefully guide people to a good path, right? That's the most important thing. Gang Gamers says hello. Hello, my brother. Nice to see you here for the first time, right? So yeah, chats are messed up. But anyway, let's go back into what we see for XRP. So XRP right now. Jack the Lad, my brother. Awesome. Nice to see you here. And you know what, Jack? You know, whenever I do an early stream, so I've noticed your timetable. Whenever I do an early live stream on a weekend, you're available, right? When I do a late night one, you're not available. So there's a timetable when Jack the Lad comes on, right? And then of course in the evening, especially I've noticed like when I do say 8 p.m., 9 p.m. UK time onwards, right? We get the most amount of views, right? The other day we had 2,100 people on the live stream for the channel as big as this. That's insanity, right? Because we only got what 3,400 subscribers, having 2,100 people on a live stream. That's insanity. You know, that's I don't think other channels do that. So I see Kendo here. Awesome, my brother. Nice to see you as well. Jack the Lad says, I'm a bin man. I'm bed by 7:30. Bro, I'm not a bin man. And guess what? I try to get to bed at 7:30, but normally I go to bed like 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., like between 12 and 2, 3 a.m., right? And then I'll be up again at 5, 6 a.m. And I'm not even a bin man. It's just the lifestyle you have because you have appointments, meeting, and there's one reason behind this. So I'll tell you the truth behind this, right? So we're gonna get back to crypto in a bit, right? And I'll tell you this hard reality. So I'm a bit of a freak for time. I'm a bit of a freak for time, right? So if I have an appointment with someone at 8 o'clock, I'll be up at 5 o'clock. I'll be up, literally. I'm fully awake at 5 o'clock. I'll drink 10 cups of coffee if I have to. I'm ready, right? So that's how my body clock works. So if I have a meeting at 10 o'clock, I'll be up at 7 o'clock. So I always give myself 3 hours to get ready. And there's a reason behind that. Even if it's like a meeting, Zoom call or Google Meets is what I prefer. So even if it's a meeting, I'm still prepared, right? And what I tend to do is I want to prepare myself. I don't want to do this last minute thing. I'm always prepared. And a lot of the time I'm driving and meeting people. So for that, I'm also giving myself whatever time we need to travel, right? So if I've got to travel in an hour, hour and a half, that gives me plenty of time that even if I rush it, I can still make it. And believe me, I do sometimes go out on a 2-hour drive, right, to the destination. It will take me 2 hours to get there. And so I've got plenty of time, you know what I mean? So I do that. You're up at 2:30 exactly. You see what I mean? So this is the reality, because a lot of people don't realize it, that you know you have to be prepared, right? Breakfast, dinner, whatever, shower, whatever you need to do, you got to be prepared, right? So Rory says, what are we talking about? Whatever you want today, because I just kind of mentioned something on Discord and I said, right, guys, if you want to go live, let's go live. Let me know what the timetable you guys want to do it. I'll arrange something. And one of the brothers, Faisal, who's on the chat, is a moderator. He said, are you free now? I was like, yeah, I'm free now. Let me find some good internet. So internet may be a bit choppy. It's around 40 megabits here. But yeah, I mean, I hope it's streaming well. And yeah, I said, yeah, do you know what? I'll come on live and we talk about whatever. And of course, my brother Faisal loves XRP. Jack the Lad, if there's something you want me to talk about, bro, let's talk about it. But I just want to give a little bit of a bit of an info, like kind of just share some info that, yeah, you know, sometimes like I'm a man for time. And if I have a meeting or something, I will prepare for that, you know, and I'll be up 3 hours in advance, 4 hours sometimes as well. So it depends where I'm going. So it is what it is, right? So we're talking about crypto. Let's go back into crypto. So let's talk about XRP right now, right? XRP right now looking very strong, as I said, right? Next 48 hours to 72 hours, whatever. I don't want to give a time here because the time is not relevant right now. The time is not relevant. There's a reason. Some coins, a lot of the blue chips, right? And I would say 60% of the blue chips are currently in an overbought territory because of all the pumps we had, right? So we've had massive pumps, 40-50% out of the blue pumps, right, which have taken us to an overbought territory. Especially on the weekly, everything is overbought, right? Apart from a few coins out there which are crap coins anyway. They're not even worth talking about, right? So if you're holding coins that haven't pumped, are not in an overbought territory, you might consider dumping them because they're not worth it, right? Okay. So the other coins that have pumped and gone to that weekly overbought territory and currently showing a reset on the daily, they're super solid. They're coming in with vengeance, right? Because a lot of them got dumped, right, hard. And of course, I kind of briefly talked about like XRP, the $4 billion dump that happened, right? When it pumped all the way to $2.90. $4 billion got cashed out, and now we know what $4 billion was used for, because obviously Brad Garlinghouse, I always forget his first name, him and his mate Chris Larson as well. See, I remember names sometimes, right? You know, honestly. So these guys are They've obviously invested a whole bunch of money during the election and XYZ and all sorts of other political parties and lobby parties and whatnot, plus a lot of media coverage. So they've been paying media companies to go and do interviews, right? Let's just put it this way: they didn't get paid, they paid, right? So there's a whole bigger agenda, and that's what they need to fund, right? Let's just put it that way. And it's a good thing, right? If $4 billion taken out brings in another $100 billion, I don't see a problem with that. Because remember what I said, that as soon as it takes the third position, which is already has, it's going to target Ethereum, and that's exactly what's happening right now. It's targeting Ethereum, and to beat Ethereum, all it has to do is double the price right now. So if we go from where we are right now, double the valuation, boom, we take over Ethereum, right? It's going to be the number 2 coin on the planet. Think about that, right, guys? Celebrate that, right? So that's that. So B, I know nothing about crypto. Where should I start? I said that to someone else yesterday as well. The first thing you need to do, if you're a novice, if you're a complete novice, go and find whatever exchange, an app or whatever you want to use. I would recommend just go on an app. It's probably easier for you guys these days, right? Back in the days, we used to talk about computers, website. I'm not going to give you a website link. Go and find any app on the App Store that is an exchange, right? A crypto exchange. And then here's the best part: follow the on-screen prompts. It will tell you exactly what you need to do. But only invest money. That's the only advice I can give you. Invest money that you can afford to lose or hold for another 2-3 years, 5 years, whatever you want to do. Only invest that. Don't go all in or anything stupid if you're a novice, right? Go and test it out a little bit. Go and pick something. If you are going to pick something, the only website I'm going to recommend, go to CoinMarketCap, look at all the coins there, right? Excluding anything that says USD on it at the beginning or the end, right? Excluding those, look at the top 10. And just buy some of them. They're probably your safest bet. They're mostly stable, right? Because of their blue chip coins, and they have a whole bunch of people invested in them. They're worth billions and billions of dollars. Some of them are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. XRP we're talking about currently worth about $247 billion, fully diluted market cap, right? So when people have invested billions of dollars into this, they have a better probability of being more stable and pumping a little bit higher because their tension is there. So that's the easiest thing I can say to you, right? Faisal says, Sham bro, 60 minutes. The Ripple tweet did cover 3 million views. It's one of the 60 minutes biggest hits. Hopefully fireworks tomorrow. Hopefully, but as I said, it's if you think about it, SM says buy DAI and the money will be saved. But DAI is just a freaking stable coin. What's it gonna do, my brother? Right? There is one, I can't remember the name right now, that's connected with DAI. There's another coin that's connected with DAI. Can't remember what it is. But that pumps like hell when it pumps, right? But again, these are legacy coins. SM, these are legacy coins, my brother. Nice to see you here as well. Obviously, when we do an early one, we can get to see you as well. I mean, from Dubai, right? So, yeah. But Faisal, yeah, of course they're going to get the views, bro. Because listen, as I said, spotlight is important. Any cryptocurrency that can get the spotlight, it truly, truly matters. I'm telling you. Right, I can't read your name because I think it's in Chinese or Japanese. I'm not sure. I think it's Chinese, right? But it says Shiba Inu times 50 by 2025. Let's hope so. We're all holding some Shiba. We've been holding Shiba since 2020, my brother. So if you're talking about Shiba now, you're late to the party because we've already held it. We've already pumped it to 2020, the bull market high. We already did that. And then we bought it again on the bottom. And we've been sitting down, relaxing. We're waiting for the 50x, my brother. So when that 50x comes, we beat you to it. So you're late to the party. Like most of the people that we get to talk to, especially on YouTube and this and that come in and promote something, you know what, you're late to the party. All right, you're late to the party. In fact, a lot of institutions and this and that come in, and all the experts, we get a lot of experts coming out now as well, talking about buying this, buying that coin, or you should buy Bitcoin, you should buy Ethereum, you should buy this, whatever they got, right? Professionals or whatever you want to call them. They're all late to the party because I've been promoting BTC since 2016, or actually mostly I said end of 2015. I've been promoting BTC. I've been promoting crypto since that. I've been promoting other coins from 2018, right? And I've been promoting a lot of stuff on YouTube since 2020. This channel since 2020. So you're 4 years late to the party if you're going to talk about one of these legacy coins. Of course, if it's a brand new coin that just came out yesterday, I don't know about, that's a different story. Carry on, right? Go and show your coin. Why not, right? Pump those coins. Bro, this is the time to pump and make money, right? We don't care about fundamentals. We only want to know about the fundamentals. So 50x, yeah, we're on it. We beat you to it, but we're gonna wait until 2025 for the 50x, my brother. So yeah, that's that, right? But right, let's go back to other coins as well now, right? So BTC has done something yesterday, right? Or day before yesterday, actually. BTC's done something. And funnily, it's still waiting. It's not doing anything. So I'm kind of observing, right? Maybe people are a bit shocked, right? So BTC came in for a reset 2 days ago, right? And it should spike up any second. However, the RSI, I mentioned this yesterday as well, is showing a little bit of a bearish divergence, right? Price action showing it wants to move up, but the RSI showing it wants to go down. Anything could happen right now. So remember what I said on, not yesterday, the day before, right? When we did the live stream, when we had that big dump, and I said, look, it just became unpredictable. That's exactly where we are right now. It is absolutely unpredictable. So whatever happens, we need to see the candle close this week, obviously. Once the candle closes this week, then we're going to make a decision where we want to go. But right now, the particular candle we have on the weekly is an undecided candle. We have a wick on the top, a wick on the bottom, and a body right in the middle. This means we don't know what direction we're going. All right, but as I said, on the daily, the stochastic RSI, the RSI are saying we're gonna go. KR, my brother, awesome, nice to see you, my brother. Okay, so those of you guys who are here for the first time, my name is Sham. This is 0xfile. The truth is always out there, and YouTube told me to mention to you guys we have memberships. So if you want to become a member, by all means, and support the channel, you're welcome to, right? Or buy me a coffee. So whatever. It is what it is. So I don't know. I'm just gonna do it. Apparently, if you don't mention it, people don't even notice it. People don't even care. So we're gonna do what we're gonna do. So that's what I'm seeing on the weekly, as I said, right? But you know, weekly we can be on an overbought and we can still move forward. So we're gonna make that decision very soon, right? Ethereum. Now, Ethereum, we know it went to $4,000. Good. But it didn't actually, and I'm going to tell you the exact number where it closed, right? So you need to understand this, right? So there is a particular level that it has to go above, right? And I'll tell you. It's 4,580. 4,580 is the level we need to get to in order to cancel the previous all-time high, beat the all-time high, and then lock down, right? We need a candle to close. We didn't actually close a candle, right? So yes, we went to 4,000. We even tested the 4,100, and so far everything looks good, right? And I'm going to go on a shorter time frame to kind of tell you what's going on, right? So far everything looks good, but on the daily, it is coming up as overbought, right? Even though Ethereum's been performing the worst, right? You know, all the Ethereum Foundation been dumping like $50 million every other day. It's currently showing overbought, right? And I wouldn't doubt it if they dump another $500 billion, right? Because that's what they've been doing. So just be cautious with Ethereum. That's all I'm going to say. But just as usual, guys, I'm like a freaking broken record telling you guys, stop loss, guys, stop loss, right? Just put some stop loss, and as we move up, just adjust it, stop loss. And if it dips, right, and you get exited out, just buy some more. Just buy some more, buy it cheaper, and you get more coins, right? So that's that. Again, I can't see the chats. I don't even know what's going on. I can't tell if the chat's live or not, right? So it is what it is. If you guys have something like you want me to talk about, by all means, guys. So I'm just going to carry on with go with the flow. All right. As I said, we don't really have a subject, right? Because, you know, Faisal said, are you free now? I'm like, yep, I'll go on live right now. XRP says, XRP Kendo says, Kendo Inu will outperform Shiba Inu this bull run. Awesome. Yeah. By the way, Kendo, okay, I can see obviously you're promoting your coin, Kendo Inu. What I would love for you to do, and complete out of respect, right? If you have this project, I would love you to share the information with us. Obviously, I can look at it, right? But I think if you share the information with us, like white paper, a website link, or anything, even the contract address, then what happens is we can have a little peek at it and see what it is, right? And we can make a decision for ourselves. Of course, when we go in, we will only invest what we can afford to lose. If we see that this has a potential to pump forward, I don't see a reason, right? We're going to have to check all of these things. So that's what I always say. I say, guys, if you're going for fun, that's a different story. It's like casino. Go and have a bit of fun. However, if you think a particular coin is going to do something, show me something, what it's going to do, and let me go on it. Why do I still hold Shiba Inu since 2020? Because I believe it could do something, and it has done it. It has done it. You know, so end of the day, you know, doesn't matter if we're going to go 50x or 100x, and if Kendo Inu is going to do better, like I'm talking about it, which I don't want to normally promote coins, but if you think it's going to do good, show me how it's going to do good, show me the information, share that information with us. Right? That's all I say. Share that information, guys. Yes, we love to show particular coins. Give us more info. Give us context. Let us know why it's going to do that. What's the reason that you believe it's going to do that? Or you can tell us right now and I'll read it out. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. We gotta look at certain things. If we're gonna buy something, if we're gonna hodl something, we need a reason for it. Do you know what I mean? Like there are some coins I've talked about just based on pure logic, right? Because it doesn't make sense. Like when you like Pepe, a meme coin. Why did I tell people to buy Pepe? Right, months ago, right? Why did I tell people to buy Pepe? I said, guys, just think about it. The hype is there. It's just logical sense. This thing's going to pump because when something is on a momentum, it's going to pump. How high it goes, let's see, right? So we bought it and just sat on it. Do you know what I mean? Just sat on it. And I said to the other day as well on the live, I said, if someone bought during that time when I mentioned it, if someone bought $100 worth, they're currently sitting at $4,000. Do you know what I mean? That's the pump that happened, right? It's got nothing to do with this channel. But believe me, we're not big enough to pump a coin. But it was just that belief that, okay, yeah, we buy now, we sit on it, it will do its thing. And it did do its thing. Another coin I've mentioned was Bonk. Why? Because Bonk airdropped it to massive amounts of people, right? And they already got a number of things. That gave people trust. And then when people started jumping into it, like, you know, and realized that, hold on, you know, every time we sell, someone's buying it and this thing is pumping. So people started buying even more. Hence why we have a massive amount of holders, and Bonk started to pump, right? And it's still pumping. Even today it's pumping, right? Even the market was bleeding, it's still pumping. So what I'm saying is you got to look at something as like, okay, what's the one thing that could make it? It doesn't have to be anything set in stone, anything solid. We don't care about founders. We don't care about fundamentals. We don't care if it becomes the new bank of crypto. We don't care, right? What's that one thing that will sell it? As I said, Pepe, yeah, we got massive amount of people just falling for the hype. That's enough for me, right? I don't care. Bonk, it managed to distribute to the massive amount of people in the beginning, and then when they were selling, it was people were buying even faster, so it started growing even more rapidly, right? That was enough for me as well, right? So you see what I mean? So that's how I'm looking at certain things, and that's where I want to plug my funds because they're going to make money. Just like Shiba Inu in the beginning, I knew it. I said, you know what? I'm sure it's a freaking scam, but it's not going to be a scam until it's not a scam. And then when Shiba Inu became the highlight, got into the spotlight, it's not a scam anymore. And then when they started launching this, their exchange, and they talked about the network and all of that, all of a sudden it's not a scam anymore. Do you know what I mean? But it's fine, right? Scam, not scam, doesn't matter. I'm still in it because I see a narrative and I want to follow that narrative. I want to follow the hype, right? Follow the money, right? So let us know. That's all I'm saying. Again, my chat's kind of messed up, so I really can't see what's happening here. But as I said, like, guys, this is the time to make money, not to hodl. You make money, right? Of course, there are some coins we'll pick for later. That's a different story. But yeah, it is what it is. Solana's doing a nice little recovery. BNB did really well today. BNB pumped around, I think it went as high as about 16% today from the where we were daily opening. We were like 16% high. Currently still sitting at about 11%, not bad. Currently Solana and BNB are kind of fighting to take that fourth place. They're fighting for that fourth place. So let's see what happens there. BTC dominance currently sitting at 55. I'm not too happy about it. I would love to see it lower. All right, love to see it lower. Let BTC stay where it is right now. This 99k is a good comfortable number. Stay there, don't go any lower, don't go any higher, and let other coins pick up. Especially I want to see Ethereum move forward, right? Ethereum needs to shoot for that 4,500 if Ethereum wants to stay in this game, right? Because you know when something's not going to perform, people are just going to dump them and move off, right? That's the reality. So that's that. KR, my brother, Jasmy, remember what I said about Jasmy, because it's in a high risk section, hence why Binance puts it in a different innovation area or whatever, right, and monitors it, right, because of the volatility that it has, the swings that it have, and you can see that swing right now as well. So Jasmy, yeah, I bought it. I dumped 12 coins and converted into Jasmy because I believe it might actually have a nice probability, but it dumped, right? So I think I'm down about 10%, right? But compared to what I was already down on the others, it doesn't really matter. So that's what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, it's down, it's bleeding out a little bit. So if you're still holding it, you know, we're gonna just try our luck, right? But other than that, I really haven't done worse or any better than what I was holding on that with those 12 coins, because they didn't do much for me anyway. So I don't want to hold them. That's why I dumped them. So that's that. I'm not going to talk about other coins, but guys, if there is anything else you guys want me to talk about, let me know. Faisal, what would you like me to talk about? I know we spoke about a little bit about the market in XRP. We've spoken about that. If there is anything else you want me to talk about, carry on. Actually, I am going to talk about one thing, just kind of while you guys decide. Let me know in the messages what's happening. So I'm going to talk about one thing here. So when you look at the total market cap, now of course it's not a big major indicator, but it sometimes helps us to see what direction the market's going, because it's kind of tracking hundreds of thousands of coins, if not millions of coins, right? But yeah, when I'm looking at it, when I see certain directions, right, when I see that the market wants to go a particular way, bullish or bearish, especially on the RSI and whatnot, then yeah. So on the total market cap, if you go to the daily, you'll realize that we have kind of a bullish divergence, right? Where the stochastic RSI is saying it wants to go down, but the RSI says it wants to go up. But of course, we're in the overbought territory. It doesn't really matter. We can still push forward. So um, what was his name? He said, when was the last time I shaved my nose hair? Last time I went to the barber, which is about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they usually wax it out for me, so I don't shave my nose hair. You know, I mean, probably you do, but Faisal says, thoughts on Monero XMR? Looks good opportunity for long. XMR has been one of those coins that I've held forever. XMR, yes, it has bad juju with it, right? Let's just say bad juju. And what I mean by that is XMR, what? Because obviously, you know, like the dark web we call, right? So whatever you want to call it, the dark web, deep web, whatever you want to call it. There are people who go and buy stuff considered illegal and probably definitely is illegal, right? Um, okay, you move. Okay, yeah, we're gonna answer that question. So it's out there, right? So obviously they're using that to buy stuff. Now, XMR, a lot of people don't know, by default, it's not anonymous. So there are people who are making mistakes thinking it's anonymous, right? It's not. There is a function there which you can activate to make it anonymous. So if you trigger that and you say, I want this to be anonymous, then what it does, when it goes through the blockchain to another person's wallet, it will use a internal tumbler or a mixer to mix those coins and then distribute it back. So that way you don't know where where it originated from, and the person who received it, you know what I mean? So it just kind of makes it decentralized or kind of anonymous in that way. That's the purpose of Monero. All right. So but for me, regardless it's the purpose or not, when everyone hates on something, I think it has better use case, right? So it has definitely has a utility, whether it's in the dark web or not, that's a different story. As long as it doesn't pump out too many coins, and as long as people are using it, there's always going to be a valuation. People need to buy, and there's always going to be a price increase. So Monero is one of those be on a steady incline, right? Yeah, it dumps with everything else, but there's been a nice steady incline. It doesn't grow as fast, similar to what I mentioned about Casper. It doesn't grow as fast because of how many rewards you can get in XYZ, right? But if we leave all of that aside, right, and go to the question what KR said, that Monero is Bitcoin. It's technically is, because it's based on the same code, but it just has a whole different algorithm, right? The way it works. So in definition, in basic definition, yes, it's the same as Bitcoin, right? Any blockchain is the same as every other blockchain, right? But they change one or two functions, if this then that. That's the only difference, right? Whereas in, like, for example, ethereum is the same as Bitcoin, but the only difference was that it allows you to now build an ERC smart contract. So it has the capability for you to do that. That's what it is, right? So yes, it is technically, like, Dash is a copy of Bitcoin Monero. So a lot of people don't talk about Dash, right? Dash is a copy of Bitcoin. Monero is a copy of Bitcoin, but there are significant differences that make them very unique, right? That's what I'm going to say. But XMI is one that I've been holding forever, and I've told people, I said, it's not one I'm going to promote, guys. I'm just going to hold. So if you're in that same boat, just buy and hold. It's not one of those you look at. right? You just buy and hold. You don't look at. You don't. These are not seasonal coins. You don't want to cash out seasonal. Yeah, you cash out. But for long term, you just buy and hold, because when everything goes to shits, now I'm about to give you the dopamine. When everything goes to shits, when everything becomes centralized, guess what? Monero will be one of those coins that will be standing as a decentralized coin. Right. So that's one of the reasons why it's one of those long-term coins you buy and you forget. You put it in some dark corner and you forget where you put it. You forget where you put it, right? Because if everything goes to shits, that's probably going to be the only coin that's going to be standing as a complete decentralized coin. Even now, even a lot of regulations around the world, or regulated exchanges, they don't allow you to trade Monero, right? They don't allow you to buy Monero and this and that, right? So why? Because they can't track it. They can't do nothing, because people who know how to use it know how to stay decentralized. So technically, it is still the most decentralized coin out there. You know, when people trade with Bitcoin and this and that, use a Tumblr, whatever, they can still track it. They can still track it. You go through the blockchain, you can still track it. Right? Bitcoin, each coin has an identifier. So you can track that coin from the day it was mined all the way to the point where it went to someone's wallet. Of course, it takes a little bit of work, but every single coin has a unique identifier, right? So yeah, it can be tracked back to you, right? So nothing's anonymous. Even when you tumble it, it's still anonymous, right? Because all you're tumbling is the transaction ID, nothing more, right? But if you go deep into it, you can still find it. So that's what it is. Silent Sweet, my brother, nice to see you. So, but Monero, if you activate the anonymous function, it tumbles it in the blockchain and it wipes out all the identifiers, and boom, you have a fresh, new, clean coin. So that's what it is. So call it real Bitcoin or not, doesn't matter. I'm not going to go into that politics, right? Because if you're going to say XMR is real Bitcoin, then other parties are going to come and say Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin. Some people are going to say Bitcoin ABC is the real Bitcoin. And someone's going to say Bitcoin Gold is the new Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Bitcoin SVC or SVB, whatever. Believe me, there are thousands, right? And I'm only going to go by what I know up to 2020, right? So up to 2020, there has been 35,000 forks of BTC. People have forked it, right? Of course, many 99.9% of them vanished, right? Other than the big names that we know about. Do you know what I mean? So people have gone out there and just tried to fork it every now and then and do all sorts of stuff. Other people have taken the code and done something fresh. For example, Litecoin is an absolute clone of Bitcoin. So if you want to say Bitcoin, you might as well, and you want the old legacy type of Bitcoin, well, Litecoin is a legacy Bitcoin, right? The only difference they did was when they pumped the coin out, right? When they distributed the coins, or came alive, right? They changed the number of coins to 210 million. So they just added another zero. That was the only difference between Litecoin and Bitcoin. Other than that, they share exactly the same thing. You can use the same technology to mine it in XYZ. So that's what it is. Now they may have changed it, right? But it's a different story. But yeah, it's original duplicate of Bitcoin. So yeah, there's many types of Bitcoins out there. If you're going to talk about an original Bitcoin, you have groups of people coming out, and basically we'll have a war on our hands, right? It'll be a freaking World War III in the crypto, because which one's the correct Bitcoin, right? Hence why majority of the community voted that the current version of Bitcoin that we have is the accepted version of Bitcoin. Now, whether it's a complete decentralized version of the Bitcoin or it's a centralized version of the Bitcoin, I don't know. I'm not going to answer that question, but I do know that it is becoming more and more centralized, controlled. So it's going into the hands of the centralized people, right? That I do know, and you can see that as well, right? A lot of institutions and a lot of people are interested in taking this, right, from the regulated sectors, right, where they are kind of going to take majority control, and eventually, mining and all of that is already centralized anyway. A lot of it is the big boy miners, they're already centralized. So it's becoming more and more centralized, even though the coin originally started as a decentralized, and they knew that, okay, we can't we can't defeat it while it's still decentralized. But in order for us to defeat it, all we have to do is take over majority of the coins and then find a way to regulate it and control it. So they're just right now doing everything to control BTC, let's just say this way. So that's what it is. I'm not going to go into a long one anyway. Faisal says, Fairs, I don't actually hold any at the moment. I'm in a few long positions, just scouting. Yeah, no, go for it. Scout. Listen, this is the opportunity to make money. You make money. That's the whole thing right now, right? This is the season to make money, right? You make money. But when you're talking about XMR, We're not going to talk about fundamentals. I've never talked about fundamentals about XMR. I've never talked about anything other than the one thing I said. It is technically one of the most, and there are others, by the way. That's one of the reasons. It's technically one of the most decentralized coins, the true decentralized coins out there, and also one of the coins that still has a anonymous, like an anonymous feature, right? Others have Zcash and this and that. They also had it, but they had all sorts of dramas and this and that. And in order for them to be compliant or to be on the exchanges, they had to change the protocol. So hold on, you bent down, right? So you're not really decentralized. Any cryptocurrency projects out there that claims to be decentralized, where if they get a subpoena or whatever from the government or the courts or whatever, and they obviously go and update it and change their things just to be compliant and be on an exchange, if they can be bullied by an exchange, they're not centralized. That means these guys are not decentralized. These guys, everyone knows who the founders are, who the owners are. Do you know what I mean? So they know where to go and find them, right? That's all it is. Regulation only works with people you know where you're going to find them. Like this channel, if I said something wrong, I could be regulated. Why? Because they know who I am. They know who I am, where to find me. So end of the day, do you know what I mean? They can come and try and regulate me. Now I can be a complete activist or whatever, right? And then say no, f off and this and that, and then they might just end up shutting down the channel. That's a whole different story. So, you know, Monero is one of those, as I said, that is kind of still true to its nature. It hasn't really changed much. It's still the same thing. Faisal says, used to have to buy Litecoin back in the day on Coinbase and swap it to buy XRP. Did you do that? Not bad. XRP was a beautiful project, by the way. I forgot his name, something Lee, right? One of the founders, right? Or I think the main founder. Talking about Coinbase, check this out, right? So during the 2017 pump, right, XRP broke all records. It was phenomenal. It just went pumping like from a few dollars all the way to a hundred and something dollars or even more. I can't remember what the number was. It was a phenomenal number, right? It went to, and then the founder, something Lee, his name, right? He dumped all of his coins because he had a massive holding and he crashed the entire price. So he cashed out a few hundred million, right? Close to a few hundred million, I think, to be is more precise. Close to a few hundred million. He cashed out. And then what does he do? He goes and works for Coinbase. So talking about Coinbase, Litecoin founder dumped it and started working for Coinbase. You got to wonder why, right? Why? So that's when Coinbase, Litecoin took a big hit. So, and I haven't been a fan since then. You know, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, it does pump. If you can get it for a few dollars, and then if it rides to a, you know, double digits or whatever, yeah, by all means, cash out, right? But I lost faith in it when the founder just dumped it and left, because everyone loved him for it. It's like, right, you've done something great. You're there. You're in the open. We know who you are. Why would you dump it? Do you know what I mean? So he just dumped it. So anything new on Crow? That's what Silent Sweep says. I will tell you, my brother. Crow is giving us signals, a little bit of a bearish signal for another 2-3 days, right? I would say even maybe a week is giving us a bit of a signal. It's going to be a little bit bearish, right? Yeah, it's going to be bearish. It's part of that same boat where on the weekly and the higher time frames, it has been overbought. But remember this, when I say overbought, it doesn't necessarily have to flip down tomorrow and stay down for another 2 weeks. A lot of these coins that are overbought, they could have stretched even further. They could have shot up even further, right? You know, like a rocket. But because BTC moves, every time BTC moves, it causes a bit of a problem. It doesn't allow the altcoins to pump. BTC needs to be stable. If BTC can stay stable for a week or two, I'm not even joking. If it can stay stable for a week or two, maybe even 3 weeks, right? Even better for us, right? We can see some of these alts shooting towards all-time high, because now is the opportunity for them to move, right? And of course, money also rotates from one coin to another, and we need that. We're not seeing that, so let's see what happens. KR says, time to rotate some BTC into Sol for better gains. Yes and no. Yes and no. I've said that to you before as well. Sol, you should have sold from, and I'm hoping you did. You should have bought Sol around $10, $12, right? And you should have sold. So if you held that Sol, you've been outperforming anything. I wouldn't really look at rotating BTC into Sol or anything. Yeah, I wouldn't, honestly. Of course, if it's some other coin, that has a bigger potential, yeah. Sol, yeah, we're going to get to 260. Once we get back to 260, then if we're looking at 400, then we're targeting 400. But there's no guarantee we might go to 400, and there's no guarantee we're not going to go to 400. You know what I mean? So it's one of those kind of things. And even if you do go to 400, from 260 to 400, you're going to make $140. That's it. $140, right? So if you're making $140, how many percent is that? Think about it, right? So you want to chase that percent. If you just sit on Sol that you have right now, you're going to make more than that. Safer. Okay, fair play, right? Shizzy says, don't overcomplicate it. Just buy BTC, okay? I don't know what he's saying. Anyway, KR, what's your honest opinion? BTC max upside 20-50% now. I only said Sol because it's safer. Yeah, so Sol is safer. But also you got to understand, if BTC dumps by 4-5%, right, then Sol will dump harder. So you see what I mean? There's upside and there's downside as well. So what I want you to do is make that decision. It's like, okay, do the calculation, do the percentage calculation, right? Because what the most safest thing right now, and I'm going to be complete transparent with you, right? And I see Desi Track, my brother. Nice to see you, my brother. No, of course, bro. You're going to get the shout out. If you know you're going to be a member, you're going to get a shout out. And yeah, Desi Track's our newest member on the channel. So, thank you very much. So let's go back to this, right? So, what was I saying? Right now, so the current position we're in the market, right? Especially on, as I said, on the weekly. This is. Listen to me carefully. On the weekly, we have been overbought for a very long time, right? It's been a good few weeks since the initial pump. Other coins wasn't overbought, right? Hence why they also pumped. So the rotation of the coins also pumped to the point where they're now also overbought. So when we see a market that's sitting on an overbought with all that data, remember, one day has 24 hours worth of data, right? But when you have a week, you have 24 times 7 into that. So there's a lot more data. Because of that massive amount of data that we have, right? We know, like, okay, it's overbought. Anytime now, it's about to do a nice little correction. That other day when we blipped from 98k to 92k, do you think that was a correction? No, that was not a correction. That was just a freak thing. That was just manipulation, right? That was just a freak manipulation. Someone just basically dumping it to buy cheaper. That's all that was. That's, you can blatantly see that. When you see a candle like that, you know what it was, right? So that wasn't even a correction. A correction is when we dump from 99k, 98k to 92k, maybe $90,000, right? We dump there and we sit there. We sit there. Remember, the key is you have to sit there. You have to go back to the support and sit there. That's a correction, right? So we haven't had that yet, and that's what I'm expecting. So if we're expecting that, the safest thing for you to do right now is put a stop loss right underneath whatever price we have now, so you can save whatever cash you have, whatever BTC you have, whatever Solana you have. You save that, and then what you do is when it dips, you buy that dip, and now you're going to have a little bit more BTC or Solana. All right, now when do you rotate? Let me explain. When BTC pumps, now, for example, let's give you an example. BTC pumps towards $110,000. When it does that, other coins are going to be stagnant. You know that, I know that. You should be experienced enough to see that, right? So when BTC moves, everything else is standstill, right? They don't move at all, right? But for a few coins, but they don't move. So BTC moves 110k. You know that at that time there's a resistance coming, at least some sort of a resistance, like an elastic band, right? It's going to pull back, right? So at that time, what do? You dump it into the next best coin. That's the time to rotate, not when it's doing this right now, not when it's unpredictable. You do not rotate. This is when you put a stop loss and you protect your funds. So there is a time when we move, right? If we head towards 110k, 120k, right, 130k, right, if we head towards that direction and we actually reach that direction, we know we're going to be really, really overbought. Profit will be taken. That's when you flip into the next one, because now the market's going to rotate that cash. Right? When that cash is rotated, you want to be on another one because you're going to make 10, 15, 20, 30, 100% more. And then you flip back to BTC when you made that, because everything has to go up a certain level and then it will be stable, or it will dump a little bit just because people are taking profit. Someone has to take profit, you know, and even if you don't take profit, what you do, you rotate. You see what I mean? That's when you rotate. So you either take profit or you rotate it into another one or the other. So that's what it is. RS, also my brother. Nice to see you, my brother. 0x, do you have a degree in gameology? You must have. I don't, but I do play a lot of games. I do play a lot of games. In fact, currently there's two games on a mobile phone that I play. One I've been playing for over 4 years now. I play. I used to be top 10. We've had a few server mergers, and now I'm not. I'm like top one. I'm actually exactly 100th because I haven't really been doing much, right? So yeah, I do play a lot of online games. But yeah, but it's not that. I'm not a gamer. I understand game theory, right? And because I think outside the box, right? So I always question things, politics, power, finance, law, and I'm always thinking the other thing. And because I have a theoretical mind, it's like I'm always theorizing, right? I'm like always thinking, what if? What's the agenda? What's the outcome? What's the reason? Right? If the reason doesn't make sense for me, then I've got to look at it in a complete different way, right? So when I look at it in a different way, things change. I'll give you a good one. Here's a good one, right? I'll give you a good one, right? Here's a good one, right? This is a theory that I have, right? And a life advice for everybody that's here today. So however many people are on the live right now, this next 2 minutes, right? I'm going to try and compact it into 2 minutes, right? This is a life advice. You want to be a better person. That's the title. You want to be a better person, right? So I'm about to quote a few things here. This is fresh stuff. You're going to love this, right? So as a human being, we always strive to be a better person. Now if you're a criminal, you want to be a better criminal. If you're a thief, you want to be a better thief, right? Think about it, right? If you're a police, you want to be a better police, right? If you're in the military, you want to be a better officer. Everybody strives to be better at whatever they do, right? As a person, you want to be better at what you do, right? I'm about to go and wait for it, right? So you want to be a better person. Now, in order to be a better person, you have to give up. You have to give up on time. And the time that I'm talking about is the time that you know, because there is a time that existed before the time we know. And when we talk about time we know, right, and this is not rehearsed or anything, this is right now, I'm just making this up, right? Okay, just making this up. So please do respect it. I'm not, I don't want any stupid comments below. Nothing is based in fact. This is a theory. So you have to give up on time. And the time I'm talking about is the time before time. The time before time belonged before empires, before kingdoms, before nations, before tribes, and before clans. There was a time when we were the people of the land, when we were free to go from anywhere. What we call countries and nations today, we were able to roam around and go anywhere. We were able to go to any part of, anywhere, and then set up ourselves a tent or whatever you want to call it, right? And literally live there as we wish. That was us. Those were the good people, right? Now, the bad people, right? Those are good people just getting on with life, getting on, creating, making more babies or whatever, right? We didn't have issues that society has nowadays. We didn't have that, right? And then we had the bad people. The bad people, well, hold on, he's got better crops than me. I want his crop, right? He's got better sheep than me. I want his sheep. So we have these division, right? We have these divisions. And then obviously we now go back and we're like, okay, we have clans, and then we have tribes, and then we have nations, and then we have, in that nation, we have kingdoms. So we had nations and kingdoms in the same area, by the way. So you had nation, which was the land, right, of those people, a nation of those people. And then we had kingdoms, which was like someone who had a group of people. Technically, it was a tribe. Tribes became kingdoms, right? So you had kingdoms, and then you had the imperials, right? Who are like, okay, look, hold on, what kingdoms? We're going to take over all of it. And currently, we have democracy, right? Democracy. So what you got to understand is, for us to be a good person, we have to forget time that we know, because what's happened is, over time, right? We've forgotten our past. We've forgotten our past that we used to be free. We've forgotten the past that even archaeology and science tells us. Archaeology and science tells us that the birth of civilization was in wherever, the Tigris River or whatever, right? In Mesopotamia or whatever they want to call it. Basically modern day Iran and Iraq, whatever you want to call it, right? Let's just put it modern day Iraq. That's where civilization branched out from. So hold on, where did these guys go? Did they go and take over another country? Did they go and take over another nation? Did they go and batter some other countries and other people in another place? No, they didn't. All they did was they just roamed the planet, because it was the land of the people. So the people were able to go anywhere. You understand? And because they went anywhere, they spread, and it was fine. We were just diversifying ourselves. Let's just put it this way, right? Because you can't live in the same place all the time. So you diversify. But over time, that history was changed. So the history we know now is not the real history, right? These are the history that's been given to us. You know what I mean? Right? And we can talk about all sorts of other stuff, but I'm just gonna leave it there. To be a better person, you have to give up on that and look back and say, what did those people do? Just think and say, did they actually fight to get out of their clans or whatever? Or did they actually end up having clans later because they needed to protect themselves or whatnot because of some bad people? Right? And then when we took out bad people, what is the definition of good and bad? Because remember what I said, everybody's trying to be better, right? A thief is trying to be better at what his profession. A police is trying to be better at his profession. A banker is trying to be better at his profession. And the better you are, the bigger the reward is, right? So everyone's trying to be better. So what is the definition of good, right? All I think is if you go back to the point where people actually didn't have bad, that's good. And that was when we were actually free, you know. I know it's a bit confusing. I can go in more deep, but it is what it is. Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh my days. Chaos says, you answered my question perfect, thanks. Chaos says, guys, smash the like button. He doesn't have to do this for us. Of course, I'm here for you guys, man. I'm here for you. I'm doing it for you guys, my brother. Gemology. Oh shit! Sorry, my brother. I thought gameology. No, gemology. Okay. Oh, sorry, my brother. I misread. Dropping gems. Okay, what's 2 gems? What's the 2 gems? Bro, drop them. Okay. He said gems and Sham's gone into gaming. Absolutely love it. Legend, man. Okay, thank you, bro. Silent says love it. Crypto Roach, good morning. Hey, my friend. Hey, Roach. How you doing, my brother? Nice to see you here. Sheikh Medulla, guess his job. Whose job? My job. I don't have a job. I'm unemployed. I'm completely unemployed. And actually, do you know what? Let me drop something here for you while we're talking on unemployment. I'm going to give you guys not a financial advice. How about that, right? And I want you guys to think about finances. And now we're serious, by the way. We're not going to talk about theories here. I'm going to drop some finance here, right? So there are people like myself on this planet who officially don't have a job. Wait for it. But they get on. They have enough. Sometimes even they have more than enough, right? Sometimes they have more than enough, right? But what it is there's a strategy behind why they have more than enough. So when I talk about crypto and I'm honest about it, I'm like, I'm in it for the money. I'm here to make the money. Similar way, it's seasonal, right? We know crypto's seasonal, stocks are seasonal, everything's seasonal, right? So the markets are seasonal. During a season, when you're making most amount of money, make as much as you can, be as greedy as you can, right? Be ruthless. Get out there, make as much money as you can. Because this common saying that we have, when you earn a certain amount of money, keep some for a rainy day and maybe save some. You can't actually carry on like this. You really can't save much, right? When you're having a normal job and you really can't save much. So when we have these kind of seasons, you make as much as possible. You make 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x, 50x, 100x. You make that. What you do after you've made that, you leave that aside, right? Go back to your normal day. Because when the season ends, you're back to normal, right? So for me, being unemployed, when the season ends, I'm still unemployed, right? But I have made enough to sustain me. Let's just say it that way, right? That even if I have a bear market for another 2 years, I can just live off that, right? I can just live. And there are videos out there of me talking about this kind of a theory where Ethereum was paying my bills for a very long time. So similar way, right? Yeah, you make as much money as possible, crypto, whatever you want to make it, and then you can live off that. That's very important because that also gives you dry powder next season as well. But if you're thinking about, I'm going to buy now, I'm going to, I've pumped, I'm going to hodl this is a great performer, and you didn't cash out, well, next season, you need more cash to put in. So this is a not financial advice. Think about this. Make as much money as you can, or whatever you can, whatever assets you can, make it, and then save it, right? Because you're going to need it next season. And then you can probably be like me, who doesn't have a job, but has, God willing, has enough. Alhamdulillah. So Sheikh Medulla says, I think you do have a job. I don't have a job. I do bits and bobs. I do bits and bobs. I go and visit people. I do meetings, online meetings. I do consultations with people. That's kind of, but it's not really a job. Again, it's seasonal, right? So I'm making the most of it. Obviously, I'm making the most of it. When I'm not doing any of that, guess what? If I'm free, then I'll probably go and do some Deliveroo if I have to. I don't really care. I'm not biased on what the job is. I don't care what it pays, right? Just to kill some time, I'll go and do whatever. I'll go and do Uber if I have to. In fact, I'm going to sign up for Uber soon. So I'm going to sign up for Uber. I'm going to start becoming a cab driver. I've thought about becoming a taxi driver. Why not? I've actually thought about applying for it. I've just started the process. I might become a cab driver, right? So, and I used to be a cab driver before, so it's not something new. It used to be my old profession, right? Years ago, 2017, I gave up cabbing. So I'm thinking I might go back in again, kill some time. Why not? I got time. I don't see a reason why I can't. So job wise, yes, I am looking for a job. I'm looking for a permanent job right now. I'm actually applying for multiple places looking for a permanent job. I would love to do something internationally if I could, so I have applied to some places, but of course I don't have a lot of academic qualifications, right? So because of that, some people are iffy. However, based on my practical experience that I have and the knowledge that I have in the crypto sphere, and also with charting, I'm really good with charts, right? A lot of people do show interest, but when they see my academic background, they're like, oh, actually you're not qualified. And I'm like, bro, what qualification, right? You can have someone doing it on a paper, or you can have someone actually doing it real life and basically proving to you that what he's saying is going to come true. And you know, I've proven myself. I'm like, do you know what? I'm not going to prove myself to anybody. I don't need to, right? I need to prove myself to myself, and I have, right? So end of the day, not fast. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. I'm just going to go and do cabbing. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. So it doesn't matter for me. As I said, I'm not biased. I don't have a problem if for example, I didn't get paid for it. I didn't even charge for it, by the way. I'm not saying I didn't get paid. I didn't charge for it. A friend of mine, he called me. He's like, oh, bro, I had some gardeners supposed to come over and they were going to charge me X, Y, Z. I was like, bro, leave it. I'll come and do it. I went, me and my mate, we both did his garden together, helped him out a little bit, right? I spent 2 days with him. I spent 2 days of my own time with him, right? Of course, he offered to pay. I said, no, it's okay. I don't need, but he was going to pay someone an arm and a leg. Now, I could have taken advantage of that. I said, right, hold on, you give me a little bit less and whatever you're willing to pay, and I'll take that. Right? And what was he going to do? He's going to chop a few trees and branches and whatnot. Bro, it's easy, bro. Just give me something, I'll whack it and kill it. You know what I mean? If you got one of those chainsaws, give that to me. Sorted, right? So the funny thing is we actually went and hired a chainsaw because he doesn't own one. We hired a chainsaw and we chopped up everything. We chopped up everything. Done. Gone. In a day. So it is what it is. RS says, you are smart, you will do well. Start with a certificate, get that role, then study a diploma in the role, all done, and graduated both in 18 months or less, even 15 months. Of course. And I have gone down that route, right? I have gone down that route. But what I've noticed is a lot of, like, for example, what I'm doing now and my age also matches as well. There's a particular age a lot of companies look for. So I'm very logical, right? I know they want a particular age, right? They want a particular age in their employees or whatever. So for me, because I've always been, and this is the problem, RS, this is my biggest problem, right? You're going to hear this, all right? And I'm not joking here. I've got my childhood school friend here as well, by the way, on the chat right now. I'm not going to mention who it is, right? But he's here and he can vouch for this, right? My first ever business I had was in 1999. I had my first ever business and I was a teenager. So I've had businesses, I've been self-employed since then. So this is where the problem is, right? Because I've always been self-employed, entrepreneurial, right? Always looking at doing new things, right? Whether it be a restaurant, whether it be a garage, whether it be this investment, that investment, I've done that. And that's my resume. So when you look at my CV, right? Curriculum vitae, whatever you call it, right? My CV, I dropped out of school, right? I dropped out of school. Yes, I did go to college. I dropped out of college and I went into business, and I did business for like straight up 20 plus years. Right, and then I went back to university to go and do some sort of a qualification, and I almost did that until I didn't like it. I did it for 3 years, right? But I've always been self-employed, and that's the reason why I'm not employable, because I've gone beyond a certain thing. Do you know what I mean? So Aria says, I did all my study while at work full-time, over 8 years done. Employers want to see the certificate for one reason only. It shows drive more than other knowledge, and they hire the drive. Everything else can be taught. 100%. No, I accept that. I accept that. Crypto Roach says, I used to own a house remolding company for 6 years at the age of 19. That type of work made me never want to have a work like that. I just trade now, going to college for finance and coaching. Okay. I'm Roach and RS. I understand where you're coming from. Yes. Do you know what? Because you're saying that, I will definitely pursue that. Right? I will definitely. And you know what it is like. So for me right now, there are a few things. And as I said, I'm an entrepreneur. Right? So not long ago, about May, right? I do have I don't have an employment. That's the thing. I've actually, so here's right. RS. Let's clear this. I've been self-employed since 1999. I've been self-employed, right? So that's like 25 years now. Self-employed, right? Wait for it. Multiple different types of businesses, software companies, this, that, whatever, apps, websites, all sorts of other stuff I've done, right? So that's my history of me doing business, right? The one time that I was employed, I was employed by Asda, which was owned by Walmart back then. Now it's currently owned by whatever. But I worked for Asda, and even that was self-employed. There's a reason, right? Because I did do training with them, so I did their managerial training, but I was in my own business. So the business that I've lost, I was in that business in 2008. One of the senior managers, like senior directors of some region or regional directors or whatever, came to my restaurant and saw me on a specific day, and they asked me a question, right? They were like, can we sit here? This is Valentine's Day, by the way, so one of the busiest days of the year, right? And we were packed, and this is like a 38-seater restaurant, and they're watching like how busy it is and how we're managing it without breaking a sweat. So they're like, can we sit here for longer? I'm like, yeah, by all means, carry on, right? As long as you're buying, I don't really care. So they sat there, they spent a couple £100, right? And this is 2008, a couple £100. And then at the end, right, they're like, we watched you all night. We watched all of you guys, and we watched you specifically because someone suggested to come and watch you at work. You didn't break a sweat. You were serving all of these people, managing orders, doing the whole lot. You were taking orders, delivering orders, drinks, everything. And you were doing it like smoothly. So we want someone talented like that to come to us. I said, well, do what, right? And what you offering? So they turned around. They're like, look, we're going to give you this pay packet. You can come and work XYZ. You don't have to work the same hours as the managers, right? But we want you to help us set up the Asda food home delivery. So I was like the pilot team, part of the pilot team, to set up the original home delivery system. They gave me 4 vans to set it up. Within like 3 months, 6 months, I had like 12 vans, right? And then I moved away. But that's when they said, like, look, why don't you take a permanent position? You know what I mean? So that's how it ended up. And for me to take a permanent position, I said, well, I'm not going to go and start work like a staff and this and that, because I've got my own business and this and that. Why would I do that, right? And also my business, my partner, I said to him, I said, look, I want to try something different. So I've never done retail. I wanted to try something different. That's where I went there and I explored, and I did Asda for a little while, and then kind of liked it, like the challenge more than anything else, right? And then over time, basically, they said, right, we're going to train you up to be a manager. So obviously you've done what you're doing and you can carry on. So I was still working like a manager. I was getting paid like a manager, but I wasn't fully qualified to work as a manager, to have the manager's title. However, I was dressed like them. Everybody listened to me. I had my own team. I used to have an actual shift that was mine, completely under my control. And I would do the rotas and everything as well. So that's everything. Not only that, I had, so in the southeast of England, the region, I had a particular password that was able to change the price of any item to 0. So I had that password, and the other guy that had the password, he got poached by Kmart in Australia. And when he went, 'cause we used to share the password, when he went, he said to me, he said, why don't you come with me to Kmart? So Kmart offered me a job to go to Australia, everything paid for, car, home, everything paid for, and a nice salary to go Australia and do something as well. But I didn't want to go to Australia at that time. So that was what it was. And then after he left, it wasn't the same. So then I went into cabbing, right? I kind of applied for my cab license and I went to cabbing. This is in 2011, I went to cabbing. And I didn't go back to the restaurant. and I was away from the restaurant for many, many years, and then there were problems and I went back. So that's my story, guys. You know, and I did multiple other stuff in between that, right? When I went to cabbing, I wasn't thinking about driving. I was thinking about opening my own office. And I, you know, God bless, you know, it wasn't successful, but one of them was successful, but I opened three. I opened three locations. I had one in Fulham. I had one in Fulham. That one wasn't that successful. Then I opened one in Cricklewood. That wasn't that successful. Then I ended up in West End, and that was very successful. You know what I mean? And then it's crypto, right? So, um, uh, Crypto Righteous, I wish Sham was my dad. I think it's super cool. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Do you know what? My daughters actually say that as well. Anyway, they think I'm super cool. They like me just because of my attitude. I've got two daughters, so yeah. RS says you will do well no matter what, but would you not like a nice warm office than a cab, canteen, water, fountain, and relax? Of course, if you know of anything, if there is any jobs going on, let me know. Let me know. My CV just says self-employed, self-employed, self-employed. You know, founder of this, founder of that, founder of that. If you go to my LinkedIn page, which I don't share, but my LinkedIn page, you can see all my history. Founder of this company, founder of that company, founder of this software, founder of that. You'll see me. Founder of this restaurant, founder of that restaurant. Yeah. You know, I've been there. I've done it all. You know what I mean? Done it all. So I've been blessed. I would say I've been blessed because I don't miss opportunities. If I see an opportunity, I'll take it. It's a risk, right? You take it. Some pay, some don't. Do you know what I mean? You know, and as long as it's not it's a reasonable amount of money to lose, it's okay. You take a gamble and you do what you need to do. And I'm actually in the process of doing something right now as well. So it is what it is. Roach says to be able to do any level of jobs, especially if you don't need to speak volumes. I respect the grind. No, that's what it is. I am open to do anything, right? For me, no job is too big or too small. No pay is too big or too small. Let me explain this to you. So your income can be a few $100s. Okay, let's say $1,000 or £1,000 a month. If that's covering your expense, then that's all you need, right? In my case, I need a little bit more, right? So if you need, I don't know, £4,000 a month, then that's what you need to earn. But then that's your expense. So the question then becomes is, how much do you have to earn? Do you know what I mean? And if whatever you're doing, if it's paying your bills and you have a decent saving, isn't that enough? And of course, from that point onwards, if you can actually invest even more, why not? I'll give you, this is quite funny. There was once, temporary. I actually worked for a cousin of mine. He didn't know I'm his nephew. Right? So he didn't know I'm kind of related to him and I'm his nephew until my direct relative, my uncle, saw me working there one day. I was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, and this is just after I sold my second business. So briefly, after I sold my second business, I went to work for someone. I literally got a phone and I just called them. I said, "Are you employing anyone?" They're like, "Yeah." "What kind of experience do you have?" I said, "Nothing. Absolutely nothing." Right? So I went there and they said, "Oh, we're not paying much. We're going to give you a bit of cash in hand if you want it." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." No. So I'm working for them, and then I come to work, and then 2-3 weeks later, I drive with my other car, the car they haven't seen. I drive to work one day, and they look at it and they're like, "Hold on, you're working for us, and you drive that?" I'm like, "Why?" Like, "That's a custom modified car." I say, "Yeah, it's a one-off." "Hold on, you're driving a one-off car. How much you spend on that?" I was like, "Well, buying and modifying and everything, about 30-something grand." They're like, "So you're driving that, and you're working here, and you're probably the amount of money you earn here is probably your petrol money." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. I pay from my pocket." So they were baffled. They're like, "Why are you doing it?" I said, it's not because of the money. I have money. I'm just doing it because I need to kill time, right? And while I'm killing time, if it benefits you, if I've done anything wrong, tell me." And they're like, "Hold on, but you know." And then later on, they find out, they're like, "Hold on, you said you had no experience, but you lied to us." I said, "I didn't lie. When you asked me what kind of experience I have, I said I don't have experience. I don't have experience in the term that I meant. I don't have experience in your place." Right? I never said how much experience I have in actual thing. I have experience. You know, I used to own my own business, so I know exactly what needs to be done to improve your business. If I've done anything wrong, tell me. And you know, God willing, and you know, God is a witness, right? His business was up threefold. So when I changed a few methods and that, it went up threefolds. But at that time, I was like, no, I gotta go now. So then I went and I helped another brother out, and that was part of my business as well. So I've been consulting in different sectors, right? Let's just say different sectors, since 2002, on and off. So I've actually been in the consulting game for a very long time, right? Because funnily, it goes back to my first business. My first business required £1,700 per week to cover its bills. When I bought it, it was making around £1,100 every week. So there was a shortfall of £600. When I took over, every week I was topping up. Every week I was topping up £500-600. You know, so my dad topped it up for me, right? So my dad used to just pay me, and he invested a lot of money into it, right? And I'm a teenager, so it's like, okay, fine, if that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. So we're burning money literally. But 6 months later, I flipped it to the point where I'm doing £5 a week. So now I need about £2 to cover. I've got £3. This is me, a teenager. I've got £3 coming in every week, and I enjoyed every bit of it, right? So I'm making, you know, within 6 months. So after that, within 6 months, initial everything back. I'm in profit, no problem, right? I can't remember. So my childhood friend, if he remembers or not, the first thing I did, I went and bought a BMW. I went and bought a BMW. It was a coupe, very lovely coupe, and I custom wheels, custom kits, and custom sound system, the whole lot. I treated myself. So yeah, that's what I did, you know. So I'm not going to go too deep into this. Roach says, were your parents entrepreneurs as well? No. My dad was retired. So when I went into business, my dad was already retired. All right, my dad was already retired. So way before I was born, so many moons ago, right? My dad used to be, well, he had a bunch of properties and whatnot, and then he moved over to, so he wasn't from London originally, he moved over to London. So, but we've never seen him work, never, right? All we know, he's had a lot of money, never seen him work. He's here, he hasn't, so most of his wealth isn't even in the UK. Right, so he's kind of set us up for the future, because he had this kind of a thought in his head, right? So even though he's Brit, he's here, he's been here like God knows forever. He had this crazy thought in his head, and he lived by that thought, by the way. And he said, you know what, Sham, or my other name, right? He said, this country, whatever you think this is yours, where this is not. One day the tides might turn, and you will have to leave. And if you leave, then you need security. And I'm building that security for you. And me and my 2 other brothers, he said, I'm building that security for you guys. So God is the witness, right? He's left so much, right, abroad. It's just unbelievable. If we decide to sell that, come back here, we're multimillionaires. Multi-millionaires, right? Just if we decide to sell that. But we respect what my dad said. So all of us brothers, we respect what he said. Hence why we'd rather be poor here, right, and stay rich over there, because we know that, yes, at some stage we might have to go over there. Do you know what I mean? So if we go there, yeah, we can have a nice luxury life. So that's something that's already set up for us. Do you know what I mean? And he's done that way back. So, but other than that, whenever we need money, so for example, you need money, you want to go and do a business. Here's the fun part, right? My older brother wanted to do a business, and my older brother and me, we have a 15-year gap, right? 15-year gap. So my older brother wanted to do a business. My dad never bought him a business. He dragged it. He never bought him a business, and he was in, he's mid-20s or mid-30s at that time, right? When my brother's like, oh, let's do a business. And my dad would never pay a penny to do a business, right? He dragged it forever. I think like 5-10 years after that, he did do it. Like when my brother was like in his late 30s or something like this, he did buy him a business. But when I left college and everything, and I didn't want to study anymore, my dad knew that I'm a bit of a troublemaker, because I'm always looking for something. It's like, you know what, forget that. If you want to do a business, let's do a business. So I took that on board. I went and saw the business on Friday. So I randomly discovered the business on Friday, and my dad paid for it on the Sunday. He found out who the owner is of that business. He went to their home, and he got them to sign a like a gentleman's deed, before the thing, and he said, on Monday morning, I'm going to give you the money right now on a Sunday. On Monday morning, I want my son to have the key. This is it. Within 3 days, it was done. He's like, you give my son the keys and let him go and check, test his fate out. Obviously, I have no experience. I have no money. I have no job. So I carry on. And my dad's kind of funding it for the next 6 months, you know what I mean, until the business kicks off. And he saw the dedication. It wasn't, and you know, some people like, oh, peer pressure, oh, you don't want to disappoint your dad. Nothing like that. It was nothing like that, right? I just knew that I knew what to do. I wanted to do it. You know, for me, it was a challenge. I had to do it. And there was other reasons behind it, but I wanted to do it. So I gave my time. I used to wake up early in the morning and go and do leaflet distribution for that business, right? That was one. And then obviously be in the for the duration until about 10, 11 in the evening. I have a little power nap and then go out midnight until about 3 a.m. in the morning to go and buy my supplies for the next day, next week, whatever, right? I used to do that. So I was dedicating myself. I was putting time out there. And I was actually at that time also doing something on the side as well to earn a little bit more money. So I used to fit car stereos and whatnot. So I was doing that. So, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? And then when the money came, for me, I didn't focus on, oh, now I've got to expand and do. And of course, I did think about doing another business, hence why I did another business. But later on, I saved enough money, I did what's not, and my mind is working differently. I went into property, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it is what it is. So, no, my parents were not entrepreneurs, but I have had this entrepreneurial mind the whole time. In my family, I'm like the first entrepreneur. Well, I'm kind of I've always been the black sheep anyway, so I've always thought differently, you know. When it came to religion, I'm thinking differently. When it came to culture, I think differently, you know. Whatever opinion someone threw at me, I was always thinking the opposite. So whatever you say was wrong. That's how I was, like, you know, my attitude was in life. Like, it can't be good. What if you're telling me it's not good, right? I'm gonna go and do what I want to do. You know, when everyone said go and get a job, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go and do business, right? So, I've always been like this, you know. I've always been like this. So yeah, that's that. You know, you guys got a bit of history on me now. Oh, bloody hell, you guys are gonna track me down now. NSA is gonna track me down now. But no, that's what it is. But I get you, Roach and RS. I get you both, right? Yes, if I have some qualifications, then of course it will help me. And what you said to me is about the dedication and everything. That's what they see. True, you know, because I do have friends who are older than me. They've left their original job and they've gone somewhere. But then again, like for me, I just kind of connect the dots. I'm like, maybe it's because they were already in that field. I'll give you a good example. Someone who studied to be a computer engineer, never done none of that, ended up working as a salesman and recently moved from salesman to finance. And I'm thinking, that's a quick jump. He never studied finance. So, but then with him, the thing I see is young. So that's good. Another person who's worked in finance his whole life, right? Now he's doing consultancy for another finance company. He used to work for a bank and now he's moved over. So when you look at that, you start making connections, right? Now for me, I've got noticed that I get hired to do small stuff, right? That maybe a 1 week contract, a 2 day contract, a 1 day contract, something like this, right? So I get hired for that, but no one's hired me for a longer term one. And usually when I'm hired, it's not even on the books. So everything has their purpose, you know what I mean? Everyone has their purpose. Whatever they're doing it in a particular way. So yeah, it is what it is. So we're not gonna go deep into that anymore. I can't even see the chats. What's happening, guys? Any more chats? Bloody hell, so much. Roach says, I've always been a black sheep in my family too. Crypto. Silent says, I'm coming for you. Silent, bro. Silent. My brother, man. My brother. The good old days, man. The good old days. Yeah, you know what I mean? The good old days. Big time good old days, man. But yeah, I mean, look, life is what it is. We do what we need to do. End of the day. But as long as you're comfortable, it's fine. You know, I know guys who own multiple houses and they, you know, earn, I don't know, a few £100 a week, you know. So it's not how much you earn, it's what you do with the money. That's what matters, you know. Roach says, I wasn't saying that was my point when I brought up qualifications. I was just wanting to share what I do for a living. Haha, I agree. It's what you have to offer, not what your titles are. Yeah, true, true. But yeah, I mean, look, as qualifications are, for me, the way I look at it, I do understand it. Like, I'll give you a good example. I have two daughters, and both my daughters, their entire life, right, I've given them private tuitions and whatnot, right, so they can perform the best and they can go and get the best degrees, right, and have the best results, right. And so far, they haven't disappointed me, right. My eldest daughter, she was like the top 1% in the United Kingdom for her GCSEs, right. Then she went and done her A levels. She was the top 1% for that as well. So I'm proud of that, right. She done that. Then she went to university. In university, when she did her first whatever course she was doing, again she was the top 1%, right? Went to a top university, fine. Then she decided to. They even offered her. They said, like, why don't you just do your masters right now? So she said, fine. So she did her masters, right? So she's finished her masters. Now she just finished her masters. Again, I'm not sure what percent, but because the results haven't come out yet, but she's passed, right? So she's got a master's degree in a political science and criminology, right? Great. So she's done that. I've pushed them towards that, and my whole thing was, and like, I've passed on what I believe, right? Not what my father gave to me, because my father was like, okay, look, he's a naughty boy, he wants to do whatever, we can't control him, right? But we'd rather, if he's got the energy and he wants to do something and he's ambitious, let him be ambitious in a good way, because he can either do that or he can do something bad, right? And Silent, you know this very well, right? We could have ended up being drug dealers and gangsters and shit like that, right? You know that. Come on, we know that. Me, you, all of us, right? We could have ended up like this, right? But we didn't. We chose a whole different path. You know what I mean? So, end of the day, each one has a different path. So, what I did was my path. I said to my kids, I said, look, I don't want you to be dependent on anyone. Even me, I don't want you to be dependent on anyone, right? I want you guys to have a good savings, a good amount of money, and do whatever. No debt, no none of that business, right? And have good education. So what I didn't have, I gave to my daughters, and I said, right, you have that. So that way you don't depend on anyone, right? You have a good life. So far, I've given them the best start in their life. Of course, in our culture, at some stage they'll get married, but I'm not in a rush to get them married off anything. I want them to have a good life, a good bank balance and everything, right? Because I don't want them to be dependent on anyone. Do you know what I mean? And then later on, we'll see what happens. So it is what it is, right? So yeah, Silence says that smile says it all, bro. You know, I've been blessed. I've been blessed in multiple ways. I've been blessed in multiple ways. You know what? Like, in my journey from 1999 to now, all right, and prior to 1999, I've had little jobs here and there, but 1999 to now, I've made so much and I've lost so much. And a lot of people can't fathom the amount of money I've made and the amount of money I've lost, right? And I'm still here and I'm still smiling. That has to say something. That's what I'm going to say, my brother. All right. So, yes, last few years, I've been thinking more about myself and what I'm going to do in the future. So now I'm kind of a mature. So believe me, I'm, close to 45, right? We know what I'm saying, right? But most of us don't even think about our future. I've had a good life, a young start, right? So I started very young. I've had kids at very young age, right? And I'm beyond all of that now. So they're all grown up now. And for me, the way I look at right now is like, okay, what am I going to do in my later life? What's my future plans? Because I'm getting older. I'm not going to have the energy. What am I going to do? So I've been pondering for the last few years. And I've kind of been doing things in a particular way to provide for my future. So I've been focused a lot on how can I have something that I can earn when I stop working. If I'm ill, if I don't have the ability to work anymore, if I don't have the capability to go out and help people anymore, if I don't want to do it anymore, just simple as that. It's like, I don't want to do it anymore. What do I have in place that will give me some sort of an income non-stop, that I don't have to do anything? So I've been kind of setting things up in that particular way. So that's where I've been investing a lot of my time and a lot of my effort, right? And working my backsides off to do that. So that's what I've been setting up. I'm not fully there yet, but if I do, hopefully the payout should be good. And it should be a non-stop payout. That's the goal here, is for me to have something set up that pays me non-stop forever. You know what I mean? So I know most people don't think like that. It's all about now. No, I'm thinking about tomorrow. I'm not thinking about now. Cryptos, Roach says, my parents are also 45 years old. My parents had me when they were 17. Now I'm teaching them about investing. Also, my brother, awesome, awesome, awesome. Wow, 17. No, so I didn't have. I had my first. I had my first daughter when I was 20. So me and my daughter, we have a 20-year gap. That's yeah. She was yeah. Well, I had my first child when I was 20. So not that young, right? Not that young. However, I did get married when I was young. So I got married when I was 18. But I had my first child when I was 20. So yeah, that's a different story. So yeah, but it's good. Listen, you got people. You got knowledge. If you're giving knowledge, then people should appreciate it. Good or bad, that's a whole different story, right? You know, ultimately, if you know that it's going to help them, then you do your best to convince them, right? Like, look, do it, it will help you. Like, one thing I'd like, I don't want to say it here, but like sometimes when I'm talking to people during some of the meetings that I do, I kind of briefly talk about it. I'm like, and pretty much what I said here. What do you want to do in the future? Because that's what matters. Your goal, your end goal matters. So a lot of people in like when you're saying like you're teaching them about finance, yeah, you teach them about finance, but you have to get them to question what's your future plan. Yeah, you're paying the bills, we're having a good life, we'll buy a few presents here and there, and we get on with life, right? We'll go on a holiday, happy days, right? But what about after that? What about when you retire? What about if you can't work anymore? What about if you have an accident, right? Those are the things that people don't think about. You know, so a rainy day saving really doesn't help. It's not even rainy day. You got to have something severe, like, you know, something very big hidden somewhere, stashed somewhere. That's what you need if you're going to survive those times, you know. So that's how I look at it. But yeah, XRP's at $2.49. By the way, guys, I'm bursting. I need a piss. I'm not going to sit here anymore. I'm going to go. There's a McDonald's nearby, and yeah, I'm going to do what I need to do. Yeah, other than that, guys, thank you very much for coming to the show. It's been an absolute pleasure as usual. I hope we can have another stream, maybe later on today, or if not, then tomorrow definitely we'll have another one. But yeah, thank you, Roach. Awesome, nice to talk to you as well, my brother. I'm always here. We talk about anything. It doesn't really matter. I don't think anything's off bounds. Of course, something too personal we're not going to go to, too descriptional we're not going to go to, let's just say this way, right? But other stuff, yeah, I'm happy to talk about, right? And it's like an open book. As I said, my journey from 1999 to now is, everyone knows about it, you know, what I've done, what I've been, and Silent Sweep knows more about me and my childhood deeds than anybody else here, right, Silent? My brother, we went to school together, so yeah, we've got stories. We've got stories, and we're gonna one day sit down and probably share with our grandchildren, depending if it's the good ones or the bad ones, right? And we've got plenty of good ones to share, you know. So yeah, what a life, right, brother? What a life, huh? It's almost like what 30 years now, bro. Almost 30 years, isn't it? 30 years, fucking hell. 30 years ago, wow, long time ago. Yeah, longer than that actually. Bloody, it was longer than that. Do you know what I mean? Because if we go back to year 7, it's freaking longer than that. Wow. Time just flies, my brother. Time just flies, you know. Look where we are today, you know. Look where we are today. The good and bad and the ugly, right? But ultimately, listen, if we can drop value and if we can help each other, right, then yeah, there's a lot out there, you know, we can achieve together, right? We can achieve together. And of course, I'm not here for anything. I'm just here. If you guys need me, Silent, everybody, like Faisal, anyone, KR, all of you guys, right? If you need me, just we go way back, my brother. We go way back. Silent Sweep and we go way back. We go way back to, I don't know, if you're in America, it would be high school, the first day of high school, and for us it's like we call it secondary school, but yeah, we go way back. We didn't go to the same like kindergarten or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, we did go to the same high school or whatever. Silence says all men but blessed. Exactly, bro. Exactly. You know, and the blessing is in our vision. You know what I mean? It's how we live life. That's where the blessing is. You know, be respectful, be kind. You know, help each other, right? And you'll see the rewards come to you at some stage. Like for me, as I said, I've made so much money and I've lost so much money. I'm still smiling, right? And I'm still giving as much advice and help to people as much as possible within my capacity, obviously, right? But I know at some stage, like when I'm coming on YouTube and telling you guys put a stop loss and protect your funds, right? You guys might hate me, think of this guy's like a broken record, or get lost, and we don't want to talk to this guy, we don't want to listen to this guy, which is fine. But I know somewhere along the line, someone's going to give me some blessing. Someone's going to give me some blessing, and that blessing is going to come back as some sort of a massive reward, right? So all the losses and all the mistakes I've ever made, because it's you know what, when you make loss in a business or an investment, right, it's actually not a loss, it's actually a mistake, and you learn from that, right? You learn from that, and if you have faith, then you get a reward in a completely different way. So I have faith, so I know I made a mistake, but I also have faith, right? And that faith means that it wasn't my time. When it's my time, I'm going to get some 10x reward, and that's what I'm looking for. So yes, of course, my brother. But yes, awesome. Thank you very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure having all of you guys here. All right, absolute pleasure. Crypto Roach says it's only a loss if you don't learn anything from that. Exactly. And here's the fun part, right? Okay, I'm going to drop one other thing, right? Here's the fun part, right? So one of my brothers, his name's Chris, right? Is from Hertfordshire. His name's Chris. He mentioned this once. He said, you know what? You should apply for this particular job, right? So there's a particular job in finance. Let's just say it's in finance, like high level finance. They said this is a high level job in finance. You should apply for that. I said, okay. And then he said, the reason I'm thinking you should apply for that is because you have experience in one thing that many people don't. I said, what's that? He said, I know you for the last 9 years, right? So he knows me for about 9-10 years now. He said, I know you for about 9 years, and I've watched you lose so much money, but you come back bigger, better, and stronger. So I want you to consult these guys, advise these guys, right? Because they can't recover. So they lose money, and then they have to kind of wipe it off and then restart again and get rid of the team and do it all over again. But you seem to lose money, but you learn from the mistakes and you come back and you do it better. He goes, that's what they're looking for. It's hilarious, right? So apparently the experience that I have in losing and recovering and coming back stronger every single time is what they need. So I was like, okay, wow, okay. I never thought of that, you know? And yeah, I did go and do some work for them, but not too much. Yeah, it's hilarious. You know what I mean? Silent Suits is nothing but blessings from us all. Of course, blessings for everybody. That's what we need here. Pray for the best, you know what I mean? And stay humble, stay true to yourself, stay honest. You know, I can say, like, in the past, I wasn't too honest. You know what I mean? Not on YouTube, but in my previous life, there was times when I wasn't honest, right? I was ruthless. I wasn't honest. There was things I did I'm not proud of. But over time, I've learned. And I said, you know what? I have to get to a level where I can be honest, because it doesn't matter. Here's a fun part. Like at the end, I'm going to drop something just at the end, right before I go. You want to lie. You're going to lie to someone, right? Or you're going to hide the truth from someone. You do it if you need to save your life. There's no harm in that. You do it if you're making £1 million. Do it, bro. I'm with you. I'll back you up. I'll come and be a witness with you. If you're making £1 million, happy days, right? But if you're not going to gain anything, if you don't want anything, what's the point, right? So for me, if I'm talking to you guys here, trying to tell you this is my truth, this is the truth, this is what's happening, the truth is out there, what am I going to gain off you? Nothing. Maybe a like, and if I'm fortunate, maybe a subscribe. Other than that, nothing else. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for coming to the show. Like, share, subscribe. I'm going to catch you guys on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.